What up, guys? The offensive Madman, Kyle Robinson, coming to you today with another review. This one, a little newer per se, as we sit down to review Rainbow Six Extraction, the PC version. This game came out Thursday, the 20th, to essentially little to no fanfare, at least in my general circle of people. We did not realize that the game had dropped, didn't really put a lot of stake into it. And before we begin the review, a full disclaimer here. I got this game on Game Pass, so I paid effectively nothing for it other than the Game Pass subscription. But that does not mean that I don't have good and or bad things to say about this game. So we have been playing this as a collective group for a while. The last couple days. If you've caught some of my streams, Saturday, Sunday, we did a stream of this, and we've really enjoyed it. Now, the big thing about this game is it's a Rainbow Six game that is kind of set in a weird way from other Rainbow Six games. So, check this out. Did not realize this was a thing. This is kind of cool. This is new. This is an alien infection of global proportions that you are fighting. And we'll jump into the gameplay here in just a second as I discuss the pros and cons. Unlike Siege, Rainbow Six Extraction is a full PvE based game, and this is the first Rainbow Six PvE exclusive game that has dropped in quite a while. So I was real excited to get in and kind of dig my feet into this game. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it, but that being said, I was enjoying what we've played of it. They took a lot of assets from Rainbow Six Siege, and we'll jump into some of what that is momentarily. But the operators from Rainbow Six Siege, there's only a few, but they took them from Rainbow Six Siege and pretty much inserted them into Extraction, complete with abilities and everything. So they reused those, which isn't bad. Now, there's your prelude as to what Rainbow Six Extraction is, if it does you any favors. Now, what the hell are the good and the bad of Rainbow Six Extraction? Let's jump into that. First off, Rainbow Six Extraction has really, really interesting mechanics. The first of which is your risk versus reward. As we looked at that screen there are 3 parts to these missions. Each mission gets increasingly more difficult. Each mission boosts more XP, and each mission also gives you the potential to unlock more things. However, you also become one with the MIA protocol, which is essentially, I don't have anybody MIA. When you lose an operator in this game, what happens is they go MIA. So then you have to rescue them essentially from the arc tree, which again, not a terrible thing, but it's a different kind of concept. So you have your standard run-of-the-mill Rainbow Six stuff like recon gear, things of that nature to help you kind of get a feel for the area, especially if you're playing by yourself. Super, super useful. One of the things about this is if you go down, you lose your guy. Well, the shitty thing is if you lose a guy, like I said, they go MIA, but that's not all. The reward or the XP that you get with them is also lost until you get them back. It definitely is a unique way to process a Rainbow Six game. I cannot state that enough. This is a unique game in and of itself that I am very happy that I downloaded. There's a ton of locations and operators to play with right out of the gate. There is Alaska, there is San Francisco, New York. There is a couple of other areas that we haven't touched yet in any capacity, which is Assignments Wall-to-Wall, Alaska, and then the Maelstrom Protocol. Right out of the box, there's a lot of positives to this game. you just have to enjoy the Rainbow Six style of games. The other thing that I really like is the level progression. And you looked a little bit of that whenever we were first loading in. Each character has a level, and you also have a react level. The react level helps you unlock new tech, new gear, new cosmetics, things like that to kind of help you improve your character. These are all good things. Like I said, this game, it's hard as shit solo, but it is fun. It's very fun. In fact, as I record this, I'm trying to play this solo because I am a fucking crazy bastard that hates my life, apparently. So it's all procedurally generated. So there is that. All procedurally generated. Nothing is in the same place in 2 missions. You don't do them in the same order. The stuff that you get is in a different order. So every one of these, even though they're very similar, feel very different. That keeps the guessing factor, if you want to call it that. The beauty of Rainbow Six games is how much they make you want to play them. Let's talk about some of the cons of Extraction here. You'll notice in the bottom left-hand corner, I have a health bar. And if that health bar drops below a certain point, my guy becomes injured and thus unusable in the next mission. This is another risk versus reward factor. The biggest bitch about the way that this works is you have a little blue bar as well, which is essentially overshield. You find health packs as you play. The problem here is that the blue packs, well, there's our LZ. The blue packs replenish that overshield, but it tends to go away. Right now, it doesn't look like it is. Maybe that's something they patched. I'm not sure, because there's some new stuff already in this game from when I played it yesterday. That was one of my biggest bitches, is that overshield went away on its own. It was essentially like an adrenaline shot that went away on its own. And I don't feel like that should be a thing. If you're going to give me armor / overshield, let me have the armor and the overshield and then be done. Because taking it away, I thought, was just a weird... It made the game more dramatic, which is perfectly fine. The second thing that really kind of, not necessarily takes me out of it, but does sort of limit the amount of enjoyment per se I could have, is the fact that our squads are only squads of 3. Now, Rainbow Six games are very synonymous for squads of 4, so the fact that this one only had a squad of 3 is surprising, to say the least. Things can be done in squads of 3, don't get me wrong. We've done plenty in squads of 3, from rescuing operators to taking down Nest to you name it, we've done it. So that's not the problem per se. Just the fact that they limit it to squads of 3 really kind of takes a little bit away, in my opinion, from the game, because a game like this, I feel it should definitely should be squads of 4 minimum. The other one is difficulty jumps. So now you saw that on single player. Part of it is I'm paying attention to the review and talking to you guys a little bit, but part of it is I just suck. The fact is, difficulty in this game is psychotic. It makes a jump like you would not believe. So now at the end of every mission, you get an XP and an HP boost. All of your injured operators get that HP back. So that's nice. The difficulty jump, though, that I was talking about is just, it's psychotic. We've done severe, and it's a bitch. It's a bitch. From moderate to the next one up, cautious, I think it was, that jump is just batshit crazy. So that jump is a little bit too much. I don't hate the idea of the jumps, but at the same time, I'm like, you could have toned it down just a smidgen. And the last thing that really kind of hits me is the audio lag. Now, I am the only one out of the group of us that have had an audio lag. I have had issues where the audio lags out and you essentially have a weird just half a second where it doesn't quite hit the same way that you would think it would or sound the same way that you think it would. Now, I don't know if that's on my end. I don't know if that's on their end. This is launch week. They're 4 days post-launch. I'm not gonna take that away from them. Now you see here we jumped into a completely different location. So now you get this, which is we're in a different section. Each one of the areas has 3 subzones, and they load in different orders every time. So that's, like I said, the procedurally generated section of that is nice. I will give it that. All of those things back and forth, as you heard there, some good, some bad, some slightly indifferent, if it were. Final thoughts on this game, honestly. I have about 14 hours into the game. I think they have a very, very solid foundation for this game. I think that it has a very good ability to find its way and find its mark if they continue to update it. I think that it's got a lot of promise. I think that they've already put out really good cosmetics for it. It definitely lends itself to the tactical mindset, even if you are newer to Rainbow Six games. If you enjoy a tactical shooter, even in this setting, it's good. It really is a good game. All of that said, let's break this one down by scores. We'll go gameplay, visuals, and depth. And I say this as the story here is different and interesting, but not front and center like some games. But yeah, let's talk final thoughts here. We'll go gameplay, visuals, and depth. Gameplay for this is super solid. Not that that should shock anybody, because Ubisoft has always done great shit. So the gameplay here, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. The visuals, again, great thing from Ubisoft. Nothing should shock them in that regard. Once again, going 9 out of 10 on the visuals. Ooh, that's the first one. So this may not be so bad. Last but not least, because of the type of game it is, we're going to go depth. And just from what I've seen, I think depth in this game and replayability, it definitely is at the forefront of their ideology. And I think that they have enough here with the parasite mutations and things that you should be able to enjoy this game for a number of hours. And that said, once again, we'll go 9 out of 10 on depth, giving the final score of Rainbow Six Extraction a 9 out of 10. Now, once again, as I stated at the beginning, I did not pay for this game. I got it as part of Game Pass. However, if I'm going to sit here and tell you I would pay money for it, which I would, I'm not saying I wouldn't. I don't think that it's worth the $60 price tag yet that most games try to sell themselves at. However, I think it's worth $40 relatively simplistically enough. I think $40 is worth the money for a game like this. For the depth, for the replayability factor, for everything with this game, I definitely think that $40 is a fair assessment that you could say, I would pay $40 for this. So just something to think about if you decide you're going to jump into it. And I think that $40 is really, really geared toward a Rainbow Six fan or a shooter fan in general. I don't know if you're just looking at the casual gamer. You know, I don't know that $40 is really up the alley of things that you would want to spend as a casual shooter fan or a casual gaming fan or a casual Rainbow Six fan. But if you enjoy this series or this genre of gameplay, $40 is fair in my opinion. So that's all of that to think about. I think that they can do a really good job if they try. So definitely curious to see what happens with the rest of Rainbow Six Extraction and what they do to entice the regular audience of PvE versus PvP. I hope to be along as part of the ride. So that's going to wrap this version of is it worth the hard drive space. But yeah, no, I recommend if you enjoy this or if you have Game Pass, I recommend wholeheartedly that you pick this up. It's a fun game that can be played with your friends, and I think that it lends itself to the people that enjoy this style of gameplay. So be sure to check it out or keep an eye out for videos from myself and other creators that have enjoyed this game. I may be doing more with this as time progresses. In the meantime, though, guys, thank you so much for watching this review. I appreciate it more than you will realize. And until next time, oh, hold on, before I bounce. Please be sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already on YouTube and the follow button on Facebook. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I am the Offensive Madman, reminding you once again that if words offend you, you can fuck off.